Hello and welcome to Battleground Bihar. We are here in the middle of Patna at Patna railway station. As Nitish Kumar, who knows Bihar like the back of his hand, just informed me, it used to be a tiny railway station, but there have been so many railway ministers from Bihar that is one of the largest railway stations in the country today. Opposite it, I don't know if you can see it, there's Hanuman Mandir, amazingly psychedelically lit up, and next to it, and you can't really see it, is the largest mosque in Patna. But bustling railway station of Patna, if you walk around here, you'll get a better opinion poll, Dorab, than anything you've ever done. Absolutely. With us is Sushil Kumar Modi of the BJP, former Deputy Chief Minister. They say he's one of the finest men in politics, a good man. So good men shouldn't be in politics. You're having a tough time? You're managing.
But I have seen even the time of Lalu Yadav.
You've seen everything.
Yes.
Nitish Kumar, who as I said knows Patna, knows Bihar like the back of his hand. I hope you don't use the back of your hand too much in Bihar. And of course the one and only Shekhar Gupta, who is always with us for all his insights of Bihar along with the national picture. So what are we looking for today? We are trying to check for the next 13 seats. We're not looking at anything that's gone by. There are 13 more seats which have got to go to vote in northwestern Bihar. Is Bihar continuing with the Modi BJP momentum, or is there a peaking and is Bihar kind of holding that momentum back? That's the kind of question we'll be asking, because this is a big state. Remember, 40 seats here and a very, very crucial state. Well, one indicator of a slight worry for the BJP, and now it's the BJP Paswan alliance here, Ramvilas Paswan has allied with the BJP, is there's been amazing consolidation of the Muslim vote. The Muslim vote is Muslims are voting tactically. Let's have a look at what our poll says for the next 13 seats. Which way are the Muslims voting? They've decided not to go with the JDU. They're obviously not going with the BJP. Only 4% say they're going for the BJP. But for RJD and the Congress, that is really Lalu and the Congress alliance. 68, that's nearly 70%, and very few with the JDU. So Nitish Kumar has not got the support of the Muslims. Dorab, is that because he was allied with the BJP and the Muslims don't know?
Also, I think that's partly, but also there's the national election. You want to sell people to the Lok Sabha. So obviously they're consolidating more behind the national parties rather than a regional party.
Right.
But the fact that he was with the BJP 17 years, probably the Congress and the RJD are using that and it's costing him both.
Right. So Dorab, Shekhar, what Dorab is saying is this is really what they call the Bada election. There's a Chota election to come maybe in a year and a half's time or earlier, depending, because Nitish Kumar has a minority government and this will have an impact on that as well. But in this Bada election, Nitish Kumar, can he get the message across, vote for me? Because they're saying, look, you're not a main player here.
Well, he's not the main player nationally, because I think voters in India are becoming very smart now. All the people we've met, they all say, ye to Pradhan Mantri ka hai. In fact, they don't speak poorly of Nitish as Chief Minister, they speak quite fondly of him as Chief Minister.
Right.
But they say this is not about Nitish, this is about who will rule India. And if you see quite a bit of support, say, for BJP and allies, it's mainly Ramvilas. It's mainly because people think that there's been a poor government in Delhi.
Right.
Who is today capable of giving a government in Delhi? You know, there are no takers for chaos.
But one interesting thing is that with the alliance of Lalu and the Congress, and they were real enemies earlier, they've got together now. A lot of people said, okay, we're going to vote for Lalu and the Congress in the Bada election, but Chota election mein Everyone I spoke to said we'll vote for Nitish. So there's a very clear distinction in their minds.
Yes, clearly, because Nitish, he never positioned himself that he's in the race for the prime ministership, and moreover that, you know, when he announced that he also can be the prime minister, it was too little, too late. Secondly, you know, even the Muslims who are voting for Lalu, they know very well that Nitish has done a lot. It's very difficult for them to ignore Nitish. So even after the polling, you know, when we were traveling in Bihar during the last 3-4 phases, they used to say that in the assembly election, hum umidwar nahi dekhenge, we will vote for Nitish Kumar. But it entirely depends now on, you know, how Modi is placed, because, you know, a person like Modi always helps someone like, you know, Lalu Yadav, because both of them are like, you know, product of polarization, politics of polarization.
But we have Bihar's Mr. Modi here. So you worked so closely with Nitish Kumar. Talking to many BJP leaders, they are very suspicious of why he broke. According to Nitish Kumar, he broke on principle. But what do you feel? Some say that he broke because he wants to be PM. Is that fair?
See, he wanted to become PM. And see, if he is talking about ideology, the same Nitish Kumar was with the BJP or Jansangh from 1967 to 80. Then there was a split in Janata Party. And he, along with the George Fernandez, they went in another party. And again, after 16 years, he joined BJP. He joined the alliance with the BJP and remained with BJP for 17 years. And after 17 years, he is telling that Advani is a secular and Modi is a communal. So people are not going to buy such kind of logic. And another thing, this is not true that the Muslims have gone with the Lalu because of Congress. Because Nitish Kumar does not have a vote bank. It does not have a solid support base.
Among
Lalu
the
Yadav, yes, Lalu Yadav is having 13-14% of strong, Yadav strong base. So the Muslims feel that if they align with the Lalu Yadav, so their Yadav and the Muslim combination, that will become more formidable.
Like 30% almost.
Yes, in comparison to Nitish Kumar, because it does not have a single group wholly supporting Nitish Kumar. And another thing, who knows what will happen after 1 year? You are telling that people are telling that they will vote for Nitish Kumar in the next election.
That's what people, everybody we met.
But
isme chote election mein dusra. In fact, I will ask you that question later, because he's a minority government. Are you scared of toppling because he may win? But we'll come to that later. But first, we talked to Lalu Yadav, much more positive, buoyant Lalu than we had even a few years ago. This is what Mr. Prasad had to say.
What is the main issue?
The main issue इस इलेक्शन में एक पॉपुलर टीवी ने मैनिफेस्टो पर बुलाया था डिबेट में, मैं भी गया था। मैं मेन इशू कंट्री के सामने, मेन इशू, द मेन एजेंडा कि फासिस्ट और कम्युनल फोर्सेस से एंड द पीपुल लाइक नरेंद्र मोदी, कम्युनलिज्म से इस कंट्री को कैसे देश से दूर रखा जाए, इन लोगों को सत्ता से आने नहीं दिया जाए। इशू है कम्युनलिज्म। तो मेन कंट्री के सामने यही इशू है, और इसको डाइवर्ट करके बहुत चालाकी से लोग इसको पीछे ले जाना चाहते हैं, मेन इशू को, मेन एजेंडा को, और इसमें लाते हैं। कोई डेवलपमेंट का कोई विरोधी नहीं है, कोई भी पार्टी, लेकिन डेवलपमेंट की चर्चा करते। और ये जो जिस आदमी को प्रधानमंत्री का बनाया जा रहा है प्रोजेक्शन, वो सिर्फ सोनिया गांधी, राहुल गांधी, फलाना चिलाना अपने आंगन में नहीं देखता कि क्या किया इस आदमी ने कंट्री में, जिसमें खुद वाजपेयी जी ने कहा था, नरेंद्र मोदी क्या चेहरा लेकर हम विदेश में जाएंगे। अटल जी ने कहा था, क्या कर दिया तुमने। तो एजेंडा हमारे सामने, मुल्क के सामने है। इस देश में हिंदू, मुस्लिम, सिख, ईसाई, उनका देश है ये। और किस तरह का ये लोग भाषा बोल रहा है, जो नरेंद्र मोदी का विरोध करेगा पाकिस्तान भेज दिया जाएगा। ये बिल्कुल पैनिक में है कंट्री। और यूथ ऑफ द कंट्री, जो 18 से 28 उम्र वाले हमारे बच्चे हैं, अगर कहीं लापरवाही हुई तो सबसे बड़ा विक्टिम ये यूथ होगा हमारा। द मूवमेंट भी बंद होगा, डेवलपमेंट का तो नामो निशान मैंने चर्चा ही नहीं करी है। जब तक पीस नहीं रहेगा कंट्री में तब तक प्रॉस्पेरिटी कैसे होगी? तो ये इशू है हमारे सामने, मुल्क के सामने, सांप्रदायिकता, इससे बचना है।
There are many kinds of voters. There are men, women, young, old. Where is your support mainly come from? Is it just mainly caste-based like Yadav and Muslims?
No.
What is your caste support?
All castes of my means Bihari, all Bihari. This Bihar is a very, very politically cautious and alert state. बिहार, ये बिहार कोई अन्य राज्यों की तरह नहीं है कि चुपचाप गूंगा की तरह सुन रहा है। यहाँ हर गांव में, हर टोला में, और बिहार जानता है कि देश के ऊपर खतरा आया है, ये खतरा पैदा करेगा, देश टूट जाएगा। 47 के कैलेंडर और तारीख दोहराया जाएगा। अगर ये आदमी आ गया तो जो लोग सोते आना नहीं है, तो फिर हमारा कंट्री डिवाइड होगा, डिवीजन होगा हमारे देश का। इसलिए ऑल कास्ट, एक कास्ट से हम यादव कम्युनिटी से आते हैं, बड़ी कम्युनिटी से, एक कम्युनिटी से कोई नहीं बन जाता है। इसलिए हमारे जितने पिछड़े हैं, मुस्लिम भाई हैं, दलित हैं, अपर कास्ट में भी भयानक रूप से प्रोग्रेसिव लोग हैं। दे आर ऑल्सो सपोर्टिंग मी। नहीं, लालू इज ए राइट, लालू ठीक कर रहा है, लालू ही लीडर है जो इसको रोक सकता है। हर आदमी अपने अपने काम में है, लेकिन सबका ब्लेसिंग हमारे साथ है। तो मेन एजेंडा है मुल्क के सामने सांप्रदायिकता।
लेकिन लालू जी, ये भी तो सच है, नीतीश कहेंगे कि इसी सांप्रदायिकता से लड़ने के लिए तो मैंने अपना बीजेपी का साथ छोड़ दिया और इतना बड़ा रिस्क लिया।
हाँ,
आपने क्या रिस्क लिया?
नहीं, मैं बोल रहा हूं कि इतना बड़ा ग्रीडी और लालची निकला नीतीश कुमार कि इसने मुख्यमंत्री बनने के लिए सामाजिक न्याय को पहले ठेंगा दिखाया। ठेंगा, जिस घाट से लोगों को हटाए थे उस घाट पर ये गुमराह करके ले गया मेरे खिलाफ। और इतना बड़ा गिरिडी कि 17 साल से कम्युनल एंड फासिस्ट फोर्सेस के गोद में बैठा था। ही वॉज इंजॉइंग हियर एज ए चीफ मिनिस्टर। और यही नीतीश कुमार का स्टेटमेंट है, रिकॉर्डेड है, आप लोगों ने दिखाया था कि भाई नरेंद्र मोदी निकलो गुजरात से, आपको देश वाच कर रहा है, देश में आइए। ये नकली कम्युनलिज्म। अडवाणी जी के रथ को मैंने रोका था, गिरफ्तार किया था, और नीतीश कुमार ने सिताबदियारा से हरा झंडा देके अडवाणी जी के रथ को बाद में निकाला।
If you are saying all these things in your rallies against Modi,
yeah, everywhere,
will he put you in jail?
I'm every, yes. ये दोनों
मोदी,
नीतीश कुमार का नाम केस में आए थे, भागा छोड़ करके हमको। ये तो नरेंद्र मोदी का जो पार्टी है यही हम पर केस करवाया, यही यूएन विश्वास को गवर्नर बनवा रहा था लोग। कभी मिलेंगे तो मैं आपको पूरा बताऊंगा हिस्ट्री क्या है। दे नो मी। आप लोग कोई बोल रहे थे कि रैली में लालू जी के खिलाफ नहीं बोलता है, हिम्मत है हमारे खिलाफ बोलने का। गिल्टी आदमी, दोषी आदमी आंख मिलाएगा हमसे नरेंद्र मोदी? जिस आदमी को देखे हैं, देखते हैं, गिल्टी कभी भी आंख नहीं मिलाएगा, उसका जवान नहीं चलेगा।
आप रैली पे जाएंगे?
हाँ, अभी भागे।
Well, that's a positive, buoyant Lalu Prasad Yadav. We had a long chat with him before that, and he is much more confident. His daughter too, very confident of doing well this time. A complete comeback kid. Shekhar, you were going to say something, but did you notice the change in his whole demeanor?
Oh, absolutely, and I think he's figured out the right combination. In fact, what Nitish has done is he's just opened a window for Lalu. Lalu was a write-off because Lalu's basic combination was broken, Muslims and Yadavs, right? Because last time we saw when we travelled in Bihar, that a lot of the Muslims were talking with admiration about Nitish because he was bringing development. He was also keeping Modi out. In fact, I remember him being described as Sher ka Bacha by a bunch of Muslims who were walking back from one of his meetings. the problem with Nitish is he does not offer the Muslims an alternative now. Right. Because if Muslims are scared of Modi, which they seem to be, then they need a national force to either stop Modi or to counter Modi if he gets power at the national level. They see Lalu now as a partner of the Congress. Congress otherwise counts for nothing in Bihar. In fact, if you wanted to have a sort of Sushil Modi equivalent from the Congress to speak for the party, you will not find one in Bihar.
We had invited Ashok Chaudhary here, but he's had a bit of a personal family crisis, so he couldn't come.
Well, I mean, with all respects, he's not Sushil Modi equivalent.
No, right.
So for the national party, so Congress party would not have counted for anything in Bihar, and Lalu would not have counted. They've just become a great combination at this point, because Congress seems to be a counter to Modi in Delhi, even if Modi comes to power, and Lalu is a worthy ally. So Nitish has given Lalu the gift of a lifetime.
Right. Dorab, I just wanted to bring your other finding, which is on turnout. One other factor which should worry the BJP a little bit is that generally Mr. Modi and the BJP are much more popular amongst men across the country. Now what's happening, look at the turnout in Bihar. In the first phase, 10th April, men much higher than women. That will be reassuring for the BJP. Then in the second phase, if we have a look at what happens there, the second phase again, 4% higher men voters than women. So BJP be quite comfortable in the first two phases. But we'll look at what happened in the third phase. That's the 24th of April. Women went up to 65% turnout and men 60%. So women turnout 5% higher than men. That will be a bit of a worry for the BJP.
Yes, because throughout all our national surveys also show that in general Congress may do badly, but it's better among women than amongst men, and the vice versa. BJP is a strong, muscular party, so obviously attracts more support amongst men. The Congress, all the other more sort of wishy-washy party, more support amongst women and lower income people.
Right.
When there's higher turnout, the possibility exists that probably the lower income people are turning out.
Right.
That could be a concern for the BJP.
Now you, Manish, was saying that you witnessed a lot of Muslim women also turning out in large numbers this time. You saw it, you in fact reported on it.
Yes, in fact, Prannoy, after second round, it started from the second round, and while we were traveling, we saw the Muslim women as well as the women from the Yadav community. They never used to vote in such a great number, and we saw Yadavs, old people, young man, they were just ensuring that the women from their community, they go and they cast their vote, and they were voting till 6 p.m. Similarly with the Muslims, even in the last phase which took place yesterday, everywhere the Muslim women were in the large numbers.
But this is actually also not just Muslim women, these are generally women across the whole state. And actually, if you looked at Dorab's poll results, the women are most for Nitish. So Nitish Kumar will be a little bit satisfied by that, but he's getting such a small percentage in this election that while the boost, he'll get a slight boost from the greater women turnout, the main beneficiaries of that will be the Lalu Congress combined. But anyway, we caught up with Nitish Kumar on one of his rallies. Let's hear what Nitish Kumar, the Chief Minister, had to say. After such a long time with the BJP, let's hear it directly from you. Why did you break?
इसको तो एक्सप्लेन कर दिया है हमने, बहुत अनेक बार नहीं अनेकों बार इसको एक्सप्लेन कर दिया है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी का जो रास्ता था वो रास्ता हमें मंजूर नहीं। ऐसे व्यक्ति को सामने लाने की कोशिश की उन्होंने, और इस प्रकार से इस चुनाव अभियान का संचालन का उन्होंने फैसला किया जिस पर देश में करोड़ों लोगों का भरोसा नहीं। आज देश चलेगा एकजुटता से, और यही और एकमात्र यही कारण था। और आज जब हम पीछे मुड़कर देखते हैं, आज जो कुछ भी उन्होंने किया है अपने मैनिफेस्टो में, उन तमाम बातों का जिक्र करके उस पर जिस तरह से उन्होंने जोर दिया है, तो इससे ये साफ पता चलता है कि उनका रास्ता ठीक नहीं था। अब वो बिल्कुल भारतीय जनता पार्टी नए अवतार में थी। अटल जी के समय में एक बात दूसरी थी, विवादित मसलों को किनारे कर दिया गया था और सचमुच देश को एक लोकतांत्रिक ढंग से चलाने की बात हो रही थी, और एक कोalition एरा था, तो ठीक ढंग से ठीक समझदारी के साथ कोalition चल रहा था। लेकिन अब भारतीय जनता पार्टी का रुख बदल गया, उनका एटीट्यूड बदल गया।
split as a result. So is it a sacrifice for you? Is it a sacrifice for you?
वोट में गेट स्प्लिट, उससे हमारी कोई समस्या नहीं है। समस्या सीधे है कि उस चीज के हम भागीदार नहीं बन सकते थे,
लेकिन ये
फिर हम अपने आप को नहीं माफ कर सकते थे। यह बात सही है, हो सकता है उससे चुनावी फायदा होता, लेकिन हम चुनावी फायदे और नुकसान के लिए कोई काम नहीं कर रहे। ये बात थी अपने प्रिंसिपल की, अपने आइडियोलॉजी की, और ये फैक्ट है कि 96 में 13 दिन की सरकार में हम लोग नहीं गए थे। 98 में जब हम लोग बीजेपी कोalition में गए थे तो ये तीनों बातें तय हो चुकी थी।
लेकिन ये सारी बात जितनी आइडियोलॉजी है, फिलॉसफी है, ये एक व्यक्ति पर ही निर्भर करती है। इज इट पर्सनैलिटी सेंट्रिक जस्ट बिकॉज ऑफ द राइज ऑफ नरेंद्र मोदी?
नो, तो उनका जो रवैया सामने है वो तो क्लियर है। ये तो बीजेपी को तय करना है और तय करना था। अब क्या तय करना, अब उनके हाथ में कुछ बचा नहीं।
For 15 or 17 years you have been with the BJP. Now you are separate. How do you see the political alignment of the forces in Bihar? Because there are about 20% of voters who don't vote for any of the major parties. Because you have an election coming in 15 months.
अभी जो बात है कि बिहार में जो कुछ भी उनको थोड़ा समर्थन मिल रहा है वो उनके आइडियोलॉजी पर समर्थन नहीं। यही तो है कि इस मौके का फायदा उठा करके उस आइडियोलॉजी से सहमत लोग नहीं होंगे, लेकिन कुछ वोट उनको मिल रहा है। वो कांग्रेस नहीं, जो कांग्रेस पार्टी का जो एक उसको कह लीजिए कि परफॉर्मेंस हुआ है, इतना खराब परफॉर्मेंस हुआ है पिछले 10 वर्षों में कुल मिलाकर के, कि उसके चलते एक वातावरण बना। इसका लाभ बीजेपी एक हद तक उठा रही है, लेकिन यस थोड़ा निगेटिव वोट भी है, लेकिन अलग अलग जगहों पर थर्ड पार्टी भी है और वहां पर ये बहुत बड़े पैमाने पर लोगों का सपोर्ट इस तीसरी ताकत को भी मिल रहा है। मैं तीसरी ताकत तीसरे मोर्चे के कंटेक्स्ट में नहीं कर रहा। हमारा कैंपेन तो कंप्लीट पॉजिटिव कैंपेन। हमको न कांग्रेस पार्टी की जो नीतियां हैं वो पसंद है और न बीजेपी के साथ काम किया है जो इनका नया स्वरूप है, ये हमारे लिए एक्सेप्टेबल नहीं। तो हम लोग अपनी बात कह रहे हैं, अपने रास्ते से चलने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। और इसमें एक बात हम आपको बता देते हैं कि हम लोगों ने जो कदम उठाया है, जो काम कर रहे हैं, इसमें हम लोगों को एक नए पैसे की चिंता नहीं है कि इसका इलेक्टोरल आउटकम क्या होता है, इसकी मुझे चिंता।
आर यू नाउ रिजाइन टू ए टफ आउटकम?
नो, नॉट एट ऑल। आप उसको बिल्कुल डिस्टोर्ट मत करिए। मैं तो आपको नहीं, क्वेश्चन एक तरह से डिस्टोर्शन है। मैं आपको सही बता रहा हूं, ये इनको कुछ खास नहीं मिल रहा है बिहार में।
This is a Lok Sabha election. You're in a minority government. Lok Sabha issues and Vidhan Sabha issues are very different. Are you going to turn the tables in a Vidhan Sabha election? Because your ratings are still very high as Chief Minister and when we talk to people.
आज तो विधान सभा का चुनाव है नहीं, आज तो लोक सभा का चुनाव। और अगर हम लोगों को सपोर्ट मिलता है तो फिर बिहार के डेवलपमेंट और ग्रोथ में और ताकत आएगी।
Will you call for a Vidhan Sabha election if you do badly here?
कोई सभा यहाँ तो आज विधानसभा के चुनाव की कोई चर्चा भी नहीं है और उसका वक्त भी नहीं है।
But you may turn the tables there. I mean, is it strategically right?
अगर ये सब दिमाग में रहता तो हम 7 चुनाव नहीं करा देते। लेकिन वो चीज नहीं है। वो 5 साल के लिए चुनी गई है, अपने समय से हो, इसका अपने समय से हो, और हम लोग भी देखना चाहते हैं। और ये बात सबों के इंटरेस्ट की है, रुचि की है कि भाई काम पर वोट मिलता है या डिवाइजिव पॉलिटिक्स कोई करे और कास्ट पोलराइजेशन की पॉलिटिक्स करे, उसी पर वोट मिले।
You are a most political man. You're saying it's for principles, but have you made the biggest political mistake of your life?
Not at all. I tell you.
The one mistake.
No, not at all.
No regrets.
No, because why to regret? I am happy. अगर ये ऐसा हम नहीं करते तो फिर किस किस चीज के भागीदार बनते?
आप कह रहे हैं कि पीपल आर वेरी एंग्री विद कांग्रेस पार्टी, लेकिन इस टाइम जो वोटों की डिवीजन हो रही है यूपी बिहार में, उससे तो कांग्रेस को फायदा हो रहा है। लालू के साथ मिलकर कांग्रेस की सीटें लगता है ज्यादा आ जाएंगी, वोट शेयर बढ़ जाएगा। ये तो पासा उल्टा पड़ गया।
राजनीति कोई बहुत फायदे और नुकसान का ही सिर्फ गणित नहीं है।
तो तीर्थ यात्रा थोड़ा
नंबर एक है, ठीक है, तीर्थ यात्रा होना चाहिए। राजनीति अल्पकालिक धर्म है और धर्म दीर्घकालिक राजनीति है, ये लोहिया जी ने कहा। और जिस दिन से ये हो गया है कि राजनीति खेल है, उस दिन से देश रसातल में जा रहा है। राजनीति एक बहुत बड़ी साधना है, एक सेवा है। आप 1 मिनट के लिए एक दौर में राजनीति को सब कुछ आंक करके आप देखेंगे तो फिर वो लोकतंत्र के लिए शुभ नहीं है। और मैं इसके अलावे इस राइडर के साथ में ये कहना चाह रहा हूँ, लेकिन जो आप या किसी को ये लगता होगा कि कांग्रेस और आरजेडी को बहुत फायदा हो रहा, वो भी कुछ गलतफहमी के ज्यादा शिकार है। एक खुशफहमी का शिकार है, गलतफहमी का शिकार।
So if it's necessary, will you support anybody to keep out Narendra Modi? Any other formation? Will you support?
तो कांग्रेस और बीजेपी सबसे अलग रहेंगे।
In the center.
Yes, in the center. हमारी जो भी ताकत होगी,
you will support anybody?
कांग्रेस और बीजेपी से अलग राजनीति की ताकत होगी।
But one of the factors here in Patna railway station, one of the largest railway stations, despite this, there was a huge Andhi here earlier today with a lot of dust. Everything's cooled down, but we have this hair blowing in a wild, gay, abandoned look, wild look, all of us, because of the remnants of the Andhi. So here he is, a minority governor, Nitish Kumar. I asked you a little bit earlier, I said I would ask you again. Why don't you topple him? Are you scared of toppling him?
No, see, we are not scared of toppling. We don't believe in such a toppling game. And I think we don't...
minority?
No, we don't require to topple this government. Because after this Lok Sabha elections, if Nitish Kumar does not perform well in the elections, there are so much inner contradictions and there is a dissident activities going on in JDU. It will fall, this government will fall on its own. Because he is not even able to expand his ministry for the last 11 months. Because he is scared that as soon as he will expand his ministry, he will revolt in his party. And more than 40-50 of their MLAs, they are in touch with the BJP leaders also. But we don't believe in such game of toppling any government. लेकिन मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि लोकसभा चुनाव के बाद जिस तरह के का रिवोल्ट है पार्टी के विदिन में जनता दल के अंदर, तो किसी को गिराने की आवश्यकता नहीं पड़ेगी। कि सरकार अपने गिर जाएगी, अपनी बोझ से सरकार गिर जाएगी।
Shekhar, do you agree with that? Do you think if he does badly in this Lok Sabha, all his MLAs are going to say we're on a sinking ship, let's jump off it, or will they say this was Lok Sabha, Vidhan Sabha can be completely different and stick by him?
I think a bit of both will happen. The problem with him is that JDU is not a party with great ideological cohesion. It's a party that's been put together with many sub-parties, and he's in fact edged out a lot of the other chieftains and leaders within these groups. So some of those are going to get enthused now. But at the same time, it will be tough for many of them to go someplace because there isn't any place left for them to go to. Because if they go to a BJP-led combine, then there is a contradiction with their vote banks and their voter interests. So I think you will see an entirely new realignment in
after this election.
In Bihar.
Manish, what is your, when you talk to all these MLAs, are they ready to jump or are they sticking with Nitish? Are they thinking they'll do much better in assembly? What is?
See, most of the MLAs, they are of the opinion as of now that in the assembly elections, people are really going to vote them back. But there is a section which will raise the banner of revolt because they want better ministry, they want a place in his cabinet. So there will be kind of pressure. But Nitish is the kind of person, he will deal with that. He would like that his government is somewhere BJP brings down his government so that he can go to the public that
and say, I was toppled.
Yeah, no,
which is what you want to avoid. You don't want that sympathy factor.
No, it is not the question of avoiding anything. Because he is surviving on the support of 4 Congress MLAs. And as soon as after this elections, because Lalu Yadav is having alliance with the Congress, so these 4 Congress MLAs, they will not support this government, they will withdraw their support.
There are some state assembly by-elections also. If he wins those, that may help him.
But it is very difficult for him.
Very difficult. Dorab, is there a split vote? I mean, I do remember the case way back in the 80s where Ramakrishna Hegde lost the Lok Sabha, I mean, he got hardly any seats, and then 6 months later, he won the Vidhan Sabha. So, is that people have a split vote always?
They do. I mean, if you look at Andhra last time, which voted together, the TDP did 2 or 3% better in the Vidhan Sabha as compared to the Lok Sabha. So, there is always for a local leader, particularly one as strong as Nitish Kumar, there is a local vote. There is no question of that.
So, there will be a split vote?
Yes, yes.
Okay, everybody talks about Bihar being all about caste. I have some doubts about it, but the facts of the poll for these remaining 13 seats, this is what the caste breakup of some of the main castes look like in Bihar. Just look at how polarized the situation is. The BJP among upper caste, 67%, that's nearly 70% of the upper caste. Let's have a look at the Kurmis and the Koris. What do they look like? Here they are. 51 with the JDU. Now, he'll be a little disappointed with that. He would like it closer to 70%. So, that's a bit of a come down, mainly because, again, this is Lok Sabha. And look at the Yadavs, 73 for the RJD Congress combined. So, there is some polarization.
Oh, yes, Lalu has been able to consolidate those votes, and the BJP has been able to consolidate the upper class votes. You know, I think this is their traditional strength anyway. So
no, and the BJP has done a smart move by actually tying up with
Ram
Vilas Paswan. That will help them.
That's right.
I mean, elections are also about arithmetic.
They are entirely about arithmetic in Bihar.
Right. I think Nitish missed that point.
Yes.
You need allies. You need alliances. So let's. We had a word with Mr. Ram Vilas Paswan, who's been on our battleground shows since 1984, and he's been back and forth, and now he's with the BJP. This is what Mr. Ram Vilas Paswan and his son had to say. Sir, you've changed your alliance. Why did you do that?
Sometimes you have to take the decision in the interest of the party, in the interest of the nation. And what I have taken decision, that is in the national interest.
Will you explain to us how it's what exactly was the national interest?
देखिए हमारे सामने में दो भावना, एक भावना थी हमारी जिसमें हम हमेशा लगातार सेकुलरिज्म, सोशल जस्टिस की बात करते थे, और ऐसा हुआ कि सोशल जस्टिस और सेकुलरिज्म के नाम लेते लेते हमने देखा कोई आदमी सेकुलरिज्म और सोशल जस्टिस तो कर नहीं रहा है, सिर्फ ऊपर से ढोंग कर रहा है, और उसमें हमारी पार्टी तबाह हो गई। हम एक समय में जहां हमारे पास में काफ़ी एमपी होते थे, एमएलए होते थे, किंग मेकर होते थे, इन नारा के चलते हमारी पार्टी जो ख़त्म हो गई। जब हमने 2002 में गोदरा के कांड पर हमने इस्तीफा दिया, उसका कुछ रिवार्ड नहीं मिला। 2005 में हमारे हाथ में चाबी था और सरकार नहीं बन रही थी, हमने कहा था किसी मुस्लिम चीफ मिनिस्टर बनाओ, किसी ने नहीं बनाया। तो और पार्टी का दबाव मेरे ऊपर में था। चिराग पासवान पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड के चेयरमैन हैं, दूसरे लोग हमसे खुल के नहीं बोलते थे, लेकिन चिराग पासवान ने कहा पापा पार्टी के लोगों की ये भावना है और हम लोगों को ये लाइन लेना चाहिए, और हमने लिया।
One more thing, your son here, he had a major role to play also, right? In the decision to change alliance.
Since a very long time I wanted this alliance to happen. Not now, I think it's been over 2 years that I wanted, and as a son I used to say this to my father. But I got an official opportunity when I became the chairman of the parliamentary board. So with lot more authority I used to say this, and I'm happy that he, keeping his personal interests aside, he accepted this in the interest of the nation and the party.
Fathers listen to their son.
Yeah.
Will this alliance continue in the Vidhan Sabha?
Yes, not only in the Vidhan Sabha, but it's going to be a very, very long-term alliance now.
But tell me, you were saying secularism. You have stood for secularism all your life. Will you keep fighting for secularism?
Yes. Secularism is our mission.
You are a secular.
Social justice, secularism is our mission. But I don't believe in hypocrisy.
So how will you ensure that secularism is continued when Modi becomes the Prime Minister? Many people accuse him of not being secular.
देखिए मैं संचार मंत्री था, अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी जी जो है देश के प्रधानमंत्री थे। आज देश में जो 4 लेन बने हुए हैं, 6 लेन बने हैं, ये अटल बिहारी वाजपेयी का दिन है। उस पर हिंदू, मुसलमान, दलित, ब्राह्मण सब चलते हैं। रामविलास पासवान ने हमने दिया जब मोबाइल सेवा, तो हर गरीब के हाथ में आज मोबाइल है, अमीर के हाथ में भी मोबाइल है, हिंदू के हाथ में भी है, मुसलमान के हाथ में भी है। तो डेवलपमेंट चाहिए कि आपको हिंदू मुसलमान चाहिए, डेवलपमेंट चाहिए है डेवलपमेंट चाहिए आपको आपको डेवलपमेंट चाहिए कि जात
आपको Muslims are very worried. What do you say to the Muslims today?
They should not have. They should not be worried.
Why?
Hey, NDA ensure that he will be more safe than UP and Bihar in future, because after the Godra riots, there are not a single riots for last 12 years. और जब we can forget emergency, लोकनायक जयप्रकाश नारायण को इमरजेंसी में बंद कर दिया गया था, किडनी के पेशेंट थे, हम लोग जेल में थे। तो जब लोग इमरजेंसी को भूल सकता है, हिंदू सिख का दंगा हुआ 84 का, उसको लोग भूल गया, सिख देश का प्रधानमंत्री है। भागलपुर दंगा को लोग भूल गया, मुजफ्फरनगर के दंगा को कोई याद नहीं कर रहा है। So why they are talking only about the Godra and Gujarat is movement?
After Godra riots, you were very critical.
Yeah, he was very critical.
Very critical of Mr. Modi. How have you changed your mind?
I changed my mind because I saw in the last 12 years that ये सेकुलरिज्म एक जो है वोट का बहाना है, और इसी बीच में चिराग पासवान आए, पार्लियामेंट्री बोर्ड का चेयरमैन बने, और क्रेडिट गोज टू हिम.
Okay, sir. Good luck. And we have known each other before you were born. His son is playing quite an important role. Huh?
No, he's the only guy.
He only decides everything.
He already is departing.
Ramvilas Paswan there, and his son, actually, a former actor as well, is playing a major role in convincing his father on this alliance. But I wanted to ask you, Mr. Modi, a very strange alliance again, good for elections because of arithmetic, but here he's been the most harsh critic of the post-Godra riot, the Godra riots, and he says, I'm secular. Do you call him pseudo-secular? I don't understand how this will happen. How will you mesh?
See, Nitish Kumar was also earlier with Janasangh, Mamata Banerjee, Telugu Desam Chief Chandrababu Naidu, Naveen Patnaik. So I think
anything is possible in politics.
And I think this is not an issue of secularism, or it is a matter of convenience. When they want to have alliance with BJP, BJP becomes secular. And when they want to oppose BJP, BJP becomes communal.
A matter of convenience for BJP also.
No, I think it is more for convenience for the other parties. BJP is what it is, because we have not changed. Whatever we are, either you call it a communal or secular, but the other parties are going on changing, and you will not be surprised after 4 or 5 years, or 2 years or 5 years, again Nitish Kumar can join this NDA.
And he may leave.
So
what is this? What kind of politics is this, Shekhar?
I think this
politics of convenience is almost what Mr. Modi just said.
Well, this is the new Lohiaism. You know, you can find a speech for every occasion. In fact, if you recall the debate on the no confidence motion, when Mr. Vajpayee's government was sworn in, one of the most stirring speeches in defense of secularism and why India was suspicious of the BJP was made by Ramvilas Paswan. In fact, he said, I remember quite vividly, he said, how many Muslims came with Babur? Only 40 Muslims came with Babur. Why did so many people become Muslims in India? Because you didn't let us go to the temple. And I then thought that, look, this is the most articulate defense of Indian secularism that I have heard in a very long time. But I can now see Ramvilas Paswan saying exactly the opposite, right? And justifying it using the same
But his words were getting a little stuck in his throat. They were like, a bit difficult. Did you find that, Dorab?
Yes, he was
finding it
uncomfortable.
He and his son
Prannoy, I have a different theory. About 40-50 seats in India are always won now by parties whose ideology is entirely fungible with a share in power. So the moment they figure out who's winning, they dust up one old speech and repeat it, because you've heard all these speeches and
so many times
before. You will hear them
Manish,
from him.
Did this come as a surprise to you, Mr. Paswan switching, or is it mainly his son who's deciding everything now?
In fact, his son was the one who is driving his politics now, and Ramvilas Paswan, he is out to promote his son, and he really wants him that he is elected MP, and then he will try and he will push him for the cabinet berth also. But the most interesting thing is that Mr. Sushil Modi just hinted at that in the next few years you might find Nitish Kumar also coming back to NDA. So I
think Mr. Sushil Modi and Nitish Kumar are actually deep down quite good friends. That's why he's hoping almost. Okay, so we've seen all the pros and cons for the BJP and against the BJP. What does it mean in terms of our forecast for seats in this northwestern region which hasn't voted yet? 13 seats. Is the BJP momentum going to slow down or not? Let's have a look at what is the vote percentage that's going to... here the first, let's have a look at the seats. Out of the 13 seats, the opinion poll for these seats not yet voted, BJP 4 out of 13. Now that's a very unusual result for our opinion polls, which suggests that the wave is slowing down a bit in Bihar, at least in northwestern Bihar. Congress 7 out of 13. You haven't seen that kind of a result either. That's a Congress plus Lalu, and JDU 2. So out of the 13 seats, 7, 4, 2. And how does that break up in terms of votes for all these three parties? The votes in these 13 seats. Remember, this is an opinion poll. These seats have not yet gone to vote. So opinion polls come with all their errors. BJP 23% of the vote. The Congress is getting 32% of the vote, and the JDU 20%. So Dorab, this
something very interesting in that. If you add the JDU and the BJP 43, remove Paswan, you come to about what the alliance got last time.
Really?
You take,
and they would have swept.
Yeah, that's right. And you take Lalu last time, excluding Paswan, and add Congress to that. That's what they're getting now. But the votes haven't changed. The alignments from 2 have become 3, and so
it's more a question of arithmetic.
That's right, entirely a question of arithmetic.
No, but on this issue of this wave continuing, the first two, it appears to have slowed down, Dorab. Shekhar.
Well, it might, but also...
but it's late.
Manish knows Bihar better. Maybe there are regional variations.
No, that takes that into account.
But I will only make one editing suggestion to this, that instead of saying Congress plus
RJD
Lalu,
plus,
say Lalu plus
I
Congress.
agree with you. It should be RJD plus.
RJD plus.
Right. So, is this do you sense that this consolidation of the Muslims, women coming out to vote, and a general peaking, you can't carry on your momentum. There must be some plateauing. Do you find that?
See, I am confident that the opinion poll will prove wrong when the people will go for poll.
Right.
Because this is the
quite
area.
Possible.
Because this is the area which we are going. We will have a strike rate of more than 90%.
Only for this part of Bihar.
Only this part of Bihar. I am talking about this part of Bihar. The 13 seats. I am confident that BJP will sweep polls in these 13 seats.
Right.
And we will at least more than 10 seats BJP will win in this area.
You may be right because opinion polls are opinion polls. But anyway, there's not that long to wait. But overall, Manish, you've seen a consolidation. Muslims have woken up a bit late, but they're saying we are now going to choose one. Even we found that in Andhra as well, that they're now siding with one side, choosing who's the most likely to defeat the BJP and consolidating behind that.
Prannoy, I would like to tell you that in fact this time the Muslim voting pattern is very, on a large scale, it is being guided and decided by the opinion polls which is coming on the different channels. And after the first round there was
I strongly disagree with that. I don't think anybody cares about opinion polls. They do not bother. No. I hate to say it.
Because in the first round there was a split, but later on they realized that it is virtually helping BJP. So now they are voting for one party, one candidate in each and every constituency, and they are deciding on the basis of the strength of that party. It's not that they have completely thrown out JDU. in some constituencies, their Muslim votes have gone to the JDU, but largely and mostly to RJD Congress combined.
In fact, the sense you get is that they do not believe that there will be an anti-Modi coalition in power in Delhi, but they want a stronger opposition because they don't want to hand over Modi so much power. So I think there is a last-minute consolidation, and you are right, you will see it across the country, because they will choose the likely alternative to Modi in terms of just counterbalancing Modi. Because whatever Modi may have done and whatever BJP may have done, they have not been able to reduce Muslim insecurities. And if anything, the statements made over the past week or 10 days, those who don't vote for Modi should go to Pakistan, for example. Some statements made by Baba Ramdev. These have reminded Muslims and mainstream Hindus as well that, look, this tiger hasn't changed its stripes. That may or may not be true, but in politics what matters is perceptions.
Right. And do you think the last minute entry of Priyanka, she's making more of an impact than Rahul did earlier?
Well, I mean, to the extent that one, it enthuses the Congress cadres, because for the first time there is a Congress person who's looking you in the eye and not getting angry and raising her voice, but talking back to the BJP and Narendra Modi personally and doing it with a sense of authority. So I think this has electrified the Congress cadre, but also somebody in the Congress now is taking on Modi directly, and I think as she has started doing it, Sonia Gandhi has started doing it. So there's a little bit of a fight back there.
But I do want to get back to this issue
late in the day, but there's a fight back.
Of do opinion polls affect people? In 1984, everybody said India shining, BJP was going to win. 2004, India shining, BJP is going to win. And nobody listened to the polls. So most of the research shows that polls have no effect at all. Only amongst us who have good little debates like this. So you may well be right, this poll may be totally wrong. Isn't that true?
Yes, but we hope not. We hope not. Yeah. Possibility always exists, yes. You know, 100% of people say they will vote. Finally, 60% come out. Now, the 40% who stay at home need not be like the 60%. Women might come out, men might come out, young people might come out, old people might come out. So that is the real issue, turnout. In the poll it's 100%, actual life is 60%.
But on the whole, do you feel there has been some, it's very difficult for you to admit it, because there's still some voting to be done, that there is a slight waning, slight fatigue among the BJP voters? No, it's very difficult for you to...
Because when we are going in the rural areas to address the meetings, we are finding that it is more and more consolidation in favor of Narendra Modi. So now in the fifth and the final phase, more people are coming to vote in favor of Narendra Modi, and because of the media and other things also, people have a gut feeling that is going to form a government at Delhi.
I will disagree. I don't think it's fatigue. I think those who are afraid of Modi have begun to see the threat as a much more realistic one. So they are consolidating, and really, you know, BJP has to reflect these statements, you know, for Indian Muslims to be again reminded of Pakistan. It is the most outrageous thing. It is unfair, it is uncivil, and forget the fact that it's communal and anti-secular. But if I was an Indian Muslim, I'll be furious and I'll be very scared. So I think some of these statements have not helped the BJP. It's not fatigue. I think they've actually energized those who are
not only Muslims, maybe liberals, anybody. I've seen columns being written against it.
There is no vote in this country anymore for beating up anybody. This country is now on a sort of a virtuous curve. People want peace, people want competition, people want more education. People don't want to beat up anybody now.
Right. So one thing, when I spoke to Arun Jaitley, I said, what are you worried about over the last stretch? He said, all I'm saying is, don't make a mistake. I'm telling all our leaders. And they're making mistakes. That's the problem.
Mistakes. Yeah. Because India, it's a big mistake to think that India is an Islamophobic country. India is not an Islamophobic country, because determinants of identity change in India every 50 miles.
Last word with you, sir.
These statements have not been given by any senior BJP leader.
So you disown all of them?
Because we have disowned.
Right.
And even Narendra Modi said that these are irresponsible statements.
Right.
And BJP cannot
But why don't you withdraw that candidate?
Any action
He's
against
still
his
your
leaders.
candidate.
Action is not very important.
Why don't you withdraw the candidate?
He's still your candidate.
It is
Make
not
a
very
statement.
important. No, it is. We have given a statement.
No, make tough. One thing is to say and carry on with the same candidate. It's an unforgivable statement. You should withdraw him. That's what Shekhar is saying.
No, his election is over on 10th of
But
May.
party
on
never
10th of
took any action against such
Sushil
leaders.
ji,
What action
Sushil ji,
taken? So see, these are, if Baba Ramdev is making any statement, Praveen Togadia is making any statement, do you think Arun Jaitley
No, but
and
this is a
Rajnath Singh?
candidate of yours.
Huh? Which
This is
candidate?
the candidate.
The candidate Gira Singh, he is not a, media has made him a big leader because of such statements. So
Shekhar?
he does not reflect the mainstream.
So
BJP.
you are strongly against it.
We are strongly against
Shekhar?
No,
having such statements.
I think you have to go a step forward. This is not enough. You have to then categorically say that Baba Ramdev, Togadia, so and so, nobody speaks for the BJP. Because when it suits you, you go along with it.
No. We have nobody has approved the whatever Baba Ramdev, Tarun Togadia said. And they are talking.
Okay, I think basically you made a very strong statement here. You totally disagree with it, but you won't take the one extra step yet of actually doing something.
Can I ask him a question?
Last.
Even if the most optimistic opinion polls from BJP's point of view turn out right and you get a clear majority, you would have still got about 35-36% votes. That means 65% of Indians or 60+% of Indians have not voted for you. Are all of them going to be sent to Pakistan? Just think about it.
Who said this?
It's your candidate who said it.
Candidate said out of 400 candidates, one candidate said.
But so out of 400, why can't you withdraw one candidate and say we are disowning him?
We have disowned. We have disowned him, and nobody is defending him. Even Narendra Modi has given a statement. Rajnath Singh has given a statement, and I was the first person to disown such irresponsible statements.
But I'll tell you what I'd like to hear.
And see, such irresponsible statements that Muslims or...
But what I'd like to hear from someone senior in the BJP is that you can choose to vote for who you want. You are Indian citizens. Nobody is going to Pakistan. This is nonsense.
ये नरेंद्र मोदी ने कहा. He has tweeted. He has said.
Okay.
In Patna meeting.
Right. So I think you made your position clear. You're against it. Everybody feels you should have taken a stronger step than just say these are petty statements and should not be held. Some action, but that's for you to think about and for the country to think about. Thank you very much for being with us. Thank you. And we'll be in Banaras in a couple of days from now to ask the same question. Is the wave continuing through UP or is it plateauing? See you in a couple of days from now. Bye-bye and thanks for being with us.